got the thing.
Hey, Ali, how's it going?
Hi, Sal. Really good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. So here we are, EmpowerZen Community Channel, and we thought it's time to come in and ramp it up with some more sharing of wisdom. So what shall we talk about today?
So many things to talk about, but one of the things we've been talking about recently is relationships. And the first relationship, as I always say, is the relationship you have with yourself.
Mhm.
And we were talking about the three universal fears and how that plays into our lives. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So the three fears, and they're ones that we can all relate to: that fear of not belonging, that fear of not being loved, and that fear of not being enough. And
Yeah.
all of us, as you know, from kids onwards, we've through life and conditioning and all that sort of stuff, we've taken on a lot of these fears. And you know what it's like as a kid, and you're not fitting in the playground, and not being loved and not being part of it all. It's a horrible feeling, isn't it?
It is. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I wonder if I'm adopted, right? Trying to see if I could find any resemblance to my parents, whatever. Thinking, I wonder if I'm adopted. And that's about not belonging, right? So, and it's fundamental about belonging to your family, for goodness sake.
You make
I
me
know it's funny as anything. But you know what? The reason they're universal, and I mean, the reason we all have them is because they're universal. And the reason we do all have them is because this goes back millions of years to when we were running around in caves. Because to be, to belong, to be needed, and to be lovable was to belong to the tribe. And if
Yep.
you didn't belong to the tribe, you were put outside the cave, so to speak. So you were vulnerable to the elements because you had no one to keep warm with. You were vulnerable to predators. Saber-toothed tigers could get you. And how would you get enough food for yourself? You'd have to forage or hunt by yourself. Not so easy. So therefore, we needed to be part of the tribe to survive. Now,
Mhm.
of course, it's not a big deal. We're not concerned about the weather, the external weather. We all live in homes and we have clothing and stuff to keep us warm. We don't have to worry about predators in terms of wild animals, and we don't have to worry about needing to belong in terms of being safe. However, those fears still playing into our 21st century life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good way to explain it and understand where they've come from, because we all have fears about stuff, and you've got to take it back to the grassroots. Where did it actually stem from? And I think this is the age of empowerment that we're all going through at the moment, and we're actually working through a lot of the stuff that's been holding us back. And these fears are things that I think a lot of people have worked on, but we still have them, right? And just
Of
having
course.
awareness that it's sitting there, oh my God, nobody loves me, I'm not lovable. But this is where we very much below the line stuff, which we've spoken about before on this channel.
Yeah.
And then when we want to rise above the line, what do we do? What do we step into, Al?
Well, when we step into above the line, this is all about looking at the possibility. This is looking about how can I view this? How can I rephrase this or reframe it in a way that is uplifting for me? So, when we're looking at why do I feel unworthy, well, often it might be because someone said something to us when we were a child.
Mm.
Or we've taken that on board as to being, gospel, as we say, or we've taken that on board as being part of our truth. But
Yeah.
it's not. Well, somebody else said it, and they may have said it, because they were fighting with you for some little reason. But we, as children, take it on because we believe everything. So I think it's about age 7 when we develop what we call the critical faculty. Until then, we just absorb everything like a sponge without wondering whether does this make sense or is this true? We just take it on as truth because someone has said it to us.
And at the age of 7, that's where we step out of our mother's aura and create our own, so that we're really getting out into that big bad world ourselves.
Yeah.
And you're right, we're embedding limiting beliefs that were formed in childhood, and then they've just become fact because we don't revisit them. And I think in this age of awareness and consciousness, that we're becoming more conscious of where did this actually come from? Where did this start from? And as a kid, when you're a kid, things just amplify out of perspective, really, and it's just like that's all part of revisiting and removing some of these limiting beliefs.
Absolutely. So I did. I was a primary teacher. I did primary teaching, training, And we were told there that your children are all about being egocentric because it's all about me. The world is about them, which is why little ones don't want to share toys and stuff. They have that tussle. This is mine, right? Because when we're children, it's all about mine. It's all about me. So that's why, again, everything we see as being our fault. So if parents are fighting and then they happen to divorce, it's my fault because, I was probably a naughty girl or naughty boy. So having an awareness of where that comes from, we can then are able to let that go and to reprogram ourselves. Yeah.
As we always say, you can't change what you don't know. So, so when we go above the line, we're really boosting our self-esteem. And there's 3 key elements to that. I am worthy, I am lovable, and I am enough. Or as you like to say, I am enoughness. I love that. Worthy, lovable, and enoughness.
Well, we're talking about our lovability, we're talking about our worthiness, and we're talking about our enoughness. Absolutely.
English teacher.
Enoughness is important.
Yeah, is that a word? Enoughness? Well, we've created it
now.
So it's so empowering when we boost our self-esteem, when we step into our worth and realize that when we start to love ourselves for who we truly are and realize that we are enough, we are complete, warts and all, as we are perfectly imperfect, as we say. And I think that comes with age, growth, doing the work, doing the inner work and sort of tapping into yourself and uncovering the obstacles that have been holding us back and allowing ourselves to truly to bloom who we truly are and be comfortable in our own skin, being authentic and genuine as we truly are. And that's what people are drawn to. I mean, it's all energy, right? And people love authentic people. People resonate with people who speak their truth, who are just comfortable being themselves. And there's nothing more attractive than a confident person. And a confident person is comfortable in their own skin.
Absolutely. And a lot of that, as you say, it's about doing the work, right? Because when you do look at what your insecurities are, and for me, I really love to know where did something start, so I know. Kind of like once you identify the problem, you're able to solve the problem. So this is where knowing where something starts, like, back in caveman days, everyone has it, then suddenly you don't feel inadequate. You don't feel it's just me. You don't feel alone. And so, part of what we do in our community is we work as a community in a group. So we are supporting each other. We're sharing our stories, sharing our wisdom, and we're also celebrating with each other for all the joys and the wins that we have.
Absolutely. It's really important to recognize your wins, small or large, it doesn't matter, because it motivates and inspires you to keep going and also gives you that sense of achievement.
Absolutely. And, because we're wired for survival, we tend to look for the negative. One of the things you said before in terms of being, unworthy, unlovable, or not enough is because we have that as innate within our DNA virtually. Someone says something when we're a child, we take that on board. And then we have what's called the reticular activating system, which is kind of like your antenna. It's another word for confirmation bias. You look for evidence to prove yourself right. And that's how we create negative belief systems. That's how we continue to create this I'm not worthy business. I'm not lovable. I'm not enough. Because someone said something to me, that must make it true. Someone else did something to me, that must make it true. And we do all this stuff, when we're kids. And then as we get older, we just look for confirmation, for information and evidence to prove ourselves right. Because we all want to be right. Yeah.
Well, we all want to be loved, right? And it's core stuff, and be valued for who we truly are. And I think this is the time and age of where we're going to go from below the line, out of the fear, and stepping into boosting our self-esteem through being worthy, lovable, and enoughness. Having enoughness.
You're such a day. You crack me up. So for you people who don't know above and below the line, that's I think our very first video we did in this channel. Above and below the line. That's my absolute favorite coaching model to talk about. And now I think it's become one of Sal's favorites too.
Because it's so easy, and I love visual, and that particular presentation has all the different bits coming in, and it's everything's a duality. So it's got the light and shade, the dark and the light, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, check it out, guys. So I think that's about it for us today, Ali, coming back in.
Thanks, Sal. Love chatting with you as always.
And always, everyone, just please like, comment, and share, and subscribe to our channel. It's pretty awesome on the EmpowerZen Community Channel. Until next time, catch you later.
You can join us in our Facebook group too. See you next time.
See ya,
Cheers.
bye.